They panic when there's something small running about their feet, which of course is one of the reasons why it's led to the story that elephants are afraid of mice. It's not really mice in particular, but anything small and scurrying somewhere near their feet does tend to give them a little bit of a fright, and they often jump back. I also think it's one of the reasons why they chase antelope around, although sometimes I think they just do that for fun. So their eyesight really isn't good. They're far more dependent on their hearing and their sense of smell. Although at the same time, I've also noticed that with younger elephants, their eyesight tends to be far better than the adults. They're much more alert when it comes to actually seeing things. Here comes another younger bull. And I was just thinking, when we played this game, I think we did, many, let me turn around so you can still see this gentleman. Many months ago, whenever it may have been, I think I did it live. I can't even remember. Oh, squeaky. And that was to imagine who would voice the animal characters if they were to be given a voice, which of course we don't do. We let them speak for themselves. I'm sure I've done this before, but in my mind, this particular big bull elephant would be voiced by James Earl Jones. It's a game I sometimes play to keep myself entertained. And that's sort of who I'm thinking for that elephant. I'm not sure about this guy. Which is fair enough. It is entirely fair enough. I'm not sure about this younger chap. Jesse Eisenberg, perhaps. I suppose I shouldn't actually play this game because I could probably get myself into trouble. Somebody takes deep offense at my comparing them to an animal. Of course, most celebrities are naturally enormous fans of Safari Live. They watch all the time. Especially James Earl Jones. Maybe not James Earl Jones. Jeremy Irons? No, you see, now I've just gone down the Lion King route. Obviously my brain's making connections. Idris Elba. There we go. Done it. Nailed it. I just can't get it right, can I? Kirsty's telling me that's Jungle Book now. Oh dear. Alright, I give up. You get the gist of things. You know, sometimes you see a sort of big, a lovely female elephant with the babies all around her, and I always think of Emma Thompson, if she were to voice it. Right. Obviously taken myself down a strange train of thought. I'm going to let our elephants slowly march off into the sunset and go and see, before it gets dark, if I can at least find some lions to find some lions. Oh, it sounds as though Byron has got some really lovely plans for his evening. Let's go and see what's happening at Chitwa Dam.
Now, we've just got to Chitwa Dam. It's in front of that adult. You can see the heads are much smaller. That's lovely. Oh, they're just playing. Look at that. Oh, wonderful. Oh, look at the tongue. Did you see that? Oh, having a bit of a yawn. Oh, that's lovely. They are very cute, aren't they? You can see they have those big teeth like the adults yet. But very playful. You know, that's a wonderful thing about seeing young animals in general. It doesn't matter what species it is. But any young animal, always very playful. As I was saying earlier, just how relaxing it is, and beautiful afternoon. Lovely to be back in the bush. Oh, Laura Moore, you asked how deep is this water. I'm not sure. I've never seen this dam empty, so I don't know how deep it is. But what I can tell you, Laura Moore, is that this dam, if we have a look at where these hippo are, if I have a look at where these hippo are, the chances are that little spot that they are in is probably only 1.5 meters deep, a meter and a half deep. And I say that because the adults would be basically lying down on the bottom of that, of the, I suppose, the dam. And it's deep enough that they can submerge, but they can still keep their heads above the water and breathe. And also those youngsters that are there, they're probably standing on the ground. So I don't think that little area that they are in at the moment is that deep. I don't know about the rest of the dam. I would assume it is definitely much deeper in other parts. Now, we've seen elephant swimming here a number of times. So that may just be a bit of a bank that is in the center of the dam, a sand bank, and I think that's possibly why those hippo always congregate there. It's because it's a little bit more shallow, but these edges around here right in front of us, they're definitely much deeper, because I've seen an elephant completely submerged in this area. So that gives us an idea of how deep the dam is, I suppose, but I don't know exactly right in the middle or elsewhere how deep it actually is. Meridal, yes, there's only actually there's another subspecies of hippo, if I'm not mistaken, but this is the main species that's all over Africa. This hippo, it's the only hippopotamus, the large one. However, there's a dwarf hippopotamus that I'm trying to think of. They're not in the Congo. Central Africa, yeah, that's right. I think the pygmy hippopotamus, I've never seen one, obviously, but Central Africa, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. You can double check me on that, but there is a pygmy hippopotamus. Wow, look at that. They're being very playful now. This is lovely. It's a bit of a cool breeze blowing off of the dam at the moment with this cold water, so the temperature is much cooler here than it is elsewhere. I'm just going to put my jacket on. Bobby, I'm not sure at what age those teeth start developing, or those big tusks of the hippo. I would say at about a year old, you must, or even younger than that, you'd probably start seeing signs of the teeth. But I would say a year and a half, I think. But I actually have no idea. But I don't know. I haven't seen young hippo yawning and displaying like this before all this playful behavior. And I'm not sure how old those young hippo are. I think they're between 8 months and a year old, judging by the size of the head. And I didn't really see teeth on those youngsters. Must maybe try have a look again if they do it. We'll see if we can spot a tooth or two. But Bobby, I'm not sure when the teeth actually develop or meant to develop. Now there are also some beautiful birds around, and the African fish eagle is sitting up. There are two actually, but one not far from us, just up in that tree over there. There we go. And again, that lovely light on that fish eagle. Lindsay, you asked if this is a natural body of water. It's it's not actually. This was man-made, Lindsay. This dam that we are situated on, so we call this a dam. It was man-made, but the water has filled up naturally from rain. But you can see we're actually situated on the dam wall at the moment. So this was man-made. There was most likely a little water hole in this area, but I think for them to increase it to what it is now, it's definitely been man-made. Lovely afternoon's making me very docile at the moment. I feel like I'm going to nod off at any minute. I think it's also because I had a fairly long drive from Johannesburg this morning. It takes about 6.5 to 7 hours to get up from Johannesburg when we drive up to this area. So a long drive. I might sit here a little bit longer. Let's head back to Brent, who has still got those cheetah. Let's see what they're up to.
Well, Byron, I think in terms of time, Davy and I have been on the road longer than the drive from Djuma to Joburg. And we're still with those cheetah. We've come up ahead, and we're just looking around to see if there's any potential prey for them. At the moment, unfortunately not. But there are some wildebeest, but in the distance. And as I say, we'll be with these boys throughout the night. And they seem to do quite a lot of hunting just after dark. Now that is not uncommon for a cheetah. Cheetah are crepuscular animals, so they're most active around dusk and dawn, so the hour before and the hour after. So we're with them at the right time of the day. Oh, look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? Darnell is wondering what would separate these five boys. Well, with a coalition the size, I've never seen a coalition the size, so you might find that competition for mating rights, and since they're not related, might cause this coalition to split. But they will often lose each other while out hunting or scent marking, but generally when that happens they will normally find each other again. Now Andy's wondering, will all individuals in a coalition have similar scent marks? Well, Andy, if they are related, I suppose they would have some similar scent marks. But if they're not related, no, they won't. But they will recognize each other's scent marks. There we go, all five. Isn't that gorgeous? Now I'm just trying to figure out. Yes, so we can see the Ololo escarpment way in the distance. And if we go slightly to the left, Dave, a bit more, bit more. Bit more, a little bit more. There we go, that slight rise, that is where final control is. And as the crow flies from here, it's probably about 25-30 kilometers. But of course we had to cross the Mara River, so we had to drive around and about. And then these guys have moved about 10 k's, maybe a bit more from where they were this morning. So they've been on the move today, and they are hungry, so we're with them at the exact right time. What Steph would like to know, has there ever been a case of an albino or menelistic cheetah? Well, the closest thing to a menelistic cheetah is a recessive gene that forms the king cheetah, but that is in southern Africa. There's been recorded cases from Zimbabwe, Botswana, and South Africa, and there's been one recorded case of a menelistic cheetah completely without spots, a completely golden cheetah. There's some zebra in the background, and that was actually in Kenya, but not here, closer towards the coast on the Tanzanian boundary. Isn't that gorgeous? Well, we're going to move around to see what these cheetah are heading towards. While we do that, let's go across to Madam McCurdy, who's shaking her golden mane in the golden light.
How exciting that you get here to see the cheetahs. That's what's definitely one of the very many things I'm looking forward to when I eventually get to Kenya. And how nice having a lovely quiet afternoon with Byron, of course, at Chitwa Dam. Now, I've just been doing loops around and around and around the Power Lines Road, Impala Plains, Triple M. Power Lines Road, Impala Plains, Triple M. That has literally been my route because, like I said, those lines are going to get up. I don't know where they're going to go from here. And Triple M is full of corrugations, so I'm just trying to figure out, which way they're going to go. And I've stopped and I've tried to stare. You can't see into the drainage line where those lions are, which makes it obviously quite difficult. The adults were just lying just above where the den is, very, very close by though, and just sort of on the southeastern bank of the drainage. I thought we may have been able to have seen them from the Power Lines Road, but that's not the case. I did see a car up ahead. Let's see. Maybe these lions have woken up and have come this way. Although I think a lot of the vehicles are sort of doing the same thing as what we are. It's just sort of circling the area. So of course we want to see lions. It's definitely something that we want to sort of see. But we'll keep driving around here and hopefully we'll get lucky and we'll eventually catch those lions out in the act. But let's go back to Byron, who's at Chitwa Dam.
We're still sitting with these hippo. Every now and then we get a little bit of a display from them. Now, one thing I read about earlier today, and I wanted to remind our viewers in North America, you will be able to see a full solar eclipse today, actually. And if I'm not mistaken, in parts of America, I think it'll be within the next 40 minutes. So those of you, I think Oregon, Charleston, South Carolina, I think you get to see the most of it. But be on the lookout, everyone. I think in the next 35 to 40 minutes, you should be able to see full solar eclipse in the United States. So that's quite exciting. Let us know what it looks like. We're not going to see it from here, unfortunately. But that is something exciting. So if you don't know that, keep on the lookout for it. And we'll keep on the lookout for some animals. Now, the sun is starting to drop a little bit behind us, and these hippo, I think, are starting to relax or rest. They're not as active anymore. It's funny, often this time of the day, they do get a bit more active. Unlike me today. Feels like I need a nap, Sebastian. We'll blame the long drive. Yeah, Sebastian says it was just not drive into the dam. I think, why don't we carry on, Seb, and see what else we can find. I'm going to go check those clearings on Chitwa. See, perhaps there's something walking around there, or a bird up in the tree. Oh, no, it sounds like Jamie had a bird she wanted to show you, but she lost it. Let's see if she can find it again.
I would love to find it again. I'm trying to find it again. But but it really has pretty much disappeared. Oh, now it's flown. It's just come back out, but it's flying even further. Oh, come back, Keanu. Wait. Oh, I've got so used to driving Chitwa. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit, Vim. Oh, we had such a beautiful view of a secretary bird in a tree. Now I can't even... Oh, there it is. We had all the jokes planned. VM said Keanu Reeves would voice the secretary bird. We both went for the first name that popped into our head. VM's was Keanu Reeves. Mine was Jennifer Saunders of Ab Fab ilk. But it doesn't work now because the bird's gone. Oh well. Oh well. Can't find lions. Can't show you a secretary bird. Let's go back to Byron and his hippo.
Oh, we just caught a glimpse of a hippo out the water, everyone. Let's see if we can show it to you. There it is. Now, it looks like this hippo's been in a lot of, quite a nasty fight. A lot of scratches on the back. Now, that's natural. These hippo often come into conflict with one another. But that's great. When last did we see a hippo out of the water like this here? That's very cool. Now, I'm curious how it's going to get back into the water. Because there is obviously that fence to try and keep the hippo out of the camp. It has gone into the camp. Let's see what it does. Oh, there's a... Watch out, there's a... Looks like a low wire over there. Luckily, he definitely knows how to get back into the water without touching that wire. But that was amazing timing to see that hippo out of the water. So as I said, there is often conflict with these hippo when they, especially now in the winter. And the reason being because the water holes start drying up, all the other water holes, the little dams, so they have to congregate in these bigger dams where there's a lot more water. But then you do get a lot of conflict, and that's often when you get those scars and those bite marks from other hippo. But wonderful to see that hippo out of the water. Let's head back across to Brent in the Mara with those cheetah, and we'll see what else we can find.
Isn't that gorgeous? The late golden light seeping through from the western horizon, bathing these boys in absolutely brilliant light. Oh, tired. Let's have a roll over. So I've got 3, 4. I'm missing one. Where is he? Probably sleeping behind a termite mound somewhere. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, who am I not saying? I'm not saying D'Artagnan. Oh, but that is beautiful. I'm still very, very hungry. Isn't that gorgeous? It's wonderful to just take a moment and enjoy. Now, James is wondering why female cheetah don't need to be social. Well, it's cheetah are quite a funny one. They're the only of the big cats that need a male a dominant number system to mate successfully. What I mean by that, if you look at everything else, you will always have a smaller group of male lions over a larger group of females. A male leopard will hold territory over multiple females. Where it comes to cheetah, there needs to be more males than females, and that's because female cheetah are very picky, and they actually can't really be stimulated into ovulation properly unless they can sort of turn down one or two or even three males or coalitions of males before they mate. And that is one of the reasons why they battle to breed. There's lots of other reasons as well. They're over specialization, and cheetah are probably one of those animals that will become extinct naturally in the next 10,000 years or so. I saw that as well, guys. I just saw a whole... Oh, there's a martial eagle going at guinea fowl. Let me just move forward slightly. Martial eagle just tried to grab guinea fowl. I just want to see if we can catch the martial eagle. He's on top of one of those gori bushes there. You see him, Dave? Okay, so right of that vehicle. Okay, stop there and zoom left a bit. There we go. You see that white on top of the gori bush? Left, 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 left. There we go. And the martial eagle just plummeted to ground and sent guinea fowl scattering. Now, the cheetah saw the guinea fowl jump off the ground. So did I. I wonder if he caught. It's a juvenile. It doesn't look like he was successful in catching a guinea fowl there, that martial eagle. Okay, well, we're going to stick with these boys, see where they go to next. While we do that, Tayla's going to go have a look at a gorgeous South African sunset.
Phew! Just in the nick of time. Look at that. Almost missed the South African sunset. And there it goes. Behind the beautiful Drakensberg Mountains. We're very, very lucky to be able to see the Drakensberg Mountains. There are not many places in the Sabi sand that have got such a gorgeous view. Unfortunately, that with all the communities and things in the area, that can cause quite a bit of light pollution, but we don't seem to see it from Djuma, which is really, really, really nice. Oh, that's amazing. I tell you right now, we didn't have a view of the Drakensberg from the southern sands. That is so gorgeous. And not a cloud in the sky. Isn't that amazing? How the weather is all cleared up. A gentle breeze, which is not to be unexpected at this time of the year. I'm happy that it's just a breeze rather than, well, howling wind like we've had over the last couple of days. But what a lovely scene. Now, nothing really has changed since we last chatted to you. We're still just going round and round, having, of course, a look and waiting to hear alarm calls once these lions get on the move, and I think we shall continue doing that. But let's go across. Byron has actually still got the sun in the sky.
Do indeed. We're a little bit higher than Tayla is at the moment, so we've still got a glimpse of the sun, but it's going to drop behind the Drakensberg mountain range shortly. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely silhouette with... Oh, bird just flew in front of us there. A lovely silhouette with this tree right here and not far from us. That's lovely. Isn't that amazing? Wonderful orange sky, burnt orange sky. And there it goes. And it's gone. It's basically gone behind the mountain now so that it can give our North American viewers the eclipse. That's what it's done. But that's beautiful. That was lovely. Quite upset that we're missing the eclipse, that we don't get it in the southern hemisphere. Unfortunately, not down here. Well, that was beautiful. Wasn't that nice? So we've come out onto these clearings now on Chitwa. And I just want to see if there's perhaps anything wandering about. I always think of these clearings, I think I'm going to see something like a white-tailed mongoose or a side-striped jackal. They generally enjoy this type of terrain, but I've never seen here, which is interesting. I would have thought I'd possibly see a white-tailed mongoose running around. I haven't seen white-tailed mongoose here, well, on Safari Live for quite some time. About a year, I think. I think it was the last time I saw, at least, last time I saw a white-tailed mongoose here. We'll see now, Sebastian. Now we've got to see if we can spot some owls, perhaps. We might be getting a bit active. Oh, Brent sounds like he's had a wonderful afternoon following his cheetah around. He's still with them. Let's go see what they're up to now.
Well, they've just got up right now, and it looks like this tree is sort of the edge of where they want to be. So I said there's another coalition of two males that are out to this side, and a little bit of gamemanship. Now, all these little games and stuff, that wasn't too serious. Could be to do with sorting out the hierarchy, the social dominance amongst this coalition. And they're now heading back towards, well, area that are probably a bit better known to them. But I'm just going to move forward quickly before we shoot across the ridge there. Let's see if our Kenyan sunset can compare with the South African sunsets. What do you think, Dave? I think we had a chance. So why don't you let us know which sunset takes the cake this evening? Hashtag Safari Live. I know Jamie hasn't shown you one yet, but between Byron and Tayla and myself, ooh, Davey, I think we've got it. I think we've got it. I think the clouds are what going to win it for us. So let's get in a bit tighter there, Dave, as we can see those golden rays coming through. See, I could have been really nasty and I could have cheated. I could have driven around and put a cheetah in the sunset, and then we would have definitely won hands down. So I'm trying to be fair here, and we're just judging the sunset alone. And there we go. So the sun is actually setting. That is in Tanzania where the sun is setting. That little sort of kink in the mountain just to the left of the sun is actually the boundary between Kenya and Tanzania. Oh, beautiful. Francis says Djuma sunset is best. Well, Francis, you know, it's all relative. Lisa says the Mara. Yeah, well, I see. I know I could have definitely won. All I had to do was put one of the male cheetah in the sunset, and I think that would have taken it hands down. But I wanted to give Djuma a fighting chance. Okay, now this area up in front of us here is more, or actually quite a long way down towards the Tayla River, is more where we're used to finding these males. As I said, this is the furthest south I've ever heard of and well, seen these males. So quite interesting. They, being a big coalition, they can probably control a massive home range. I mean, those two boys that we see on Djuma from time to time, they control up to about 60,000 hectares, about 120,000 acres. So 5, who knows, maybe you can control 200,000 acres. Well, they found something nice to smell. Right, I finished smelling now. Okay, let's get ahead of them again. Now, one of my favorite things is about to happen is that we're about to have the Mara all to ourselves. So very shortly the park gates will be shutting, and the only vehicles left out are going to be Jamie in the Triangle and us out here in the National Reserve. Now of course that can change. Oh, what's going on? Hang on. Hold on. Are they playing, or a little impalala or something? And that they might have taken off after, but no, they're just playing. The side of these thickets. While we do that, let's go back to Tayla and see what she's up to.
Well, that was interesting. Nothing much has really changed, other than the fact that I now also have some pictures of the sunset, and I'm quite eager to see who won the trio sunset battle that Brent has issued. So, hashtag Safari Live. I hope we'll have a look a little bit later and see who was the champion. I don't know, I think ours was pretty tough to beat. You know, the Drakensberg Mountain is truly spectacular. It's a really nice setting to have. I'm still going round and round the garden like a teddy bear. I feel like I'm a nursery rhyme now. Just going round and round, and we're going to continue going round and round. I'm now determined to catch these adults moving about. And it's just hard to try and figure out which way they're going to go. We know that there's no buffalo on Djuma at the moment, or there might be one and a half, you know, running around. But there's no big herds, not really any zebra around. The only thing that is about, apparently, crested francolins, and then there's the crested francolin. You can have a look at it if you like. And then of course the wildebeest. But the wildebeest were on Philemon's cut line and on Rebecca's junction this morning. I wonder if those lions didn't snatch up perhaps a young wildebeest calf, because they look petrified when I briefly saw them this morning. But there the francolins are moving through the grass. Look at your red legs. Isn't that pretty? They are very, very cool looking birds. I love all their little white streaks and sort of black arrowheads that they have. Across the drainage lines. Now you can imagine how hard it is for us to navigate through them with big bulky cars. Hello, Megan. Megan's updating me about how much I love the francolins. Is that what you were going to say, Megan? Right, let's see. Still nothing this side, but we're quite far away from where those lions are. They're in this drainage line, maybe about 200 meters up, 150 meters or so. Sort of. Let me see if I can find the tree for you. See that exactly, like behind all those trees down on the underside, in a sort of a narrow part of the drainage line. There goes some hardy-dars, nice sensor, flying in a group. Yeah, they should pop out now. There they come, the pterodactyls of the sky. Off they go, making a noise. You might have been able to have even heard them. So it's just difficult, sorry, as I was trying to say, to predict where these lions are going to go to look for food. Now, Sky Doggy, wondering, what about those tiny little babies being introduced to the pride? Well, because we suspect, and I'm sorry I'm not looking at you, I'm just making sure I don't miss any animals because they blend in so well. Because I think we're pretty certain that it's the youngest Agama lioness. because it's her, she's probably inexperienced. We don't know if she's had cubs before. That one cub that Ellie found, that could have been her cub. No one really knows for sure what happened there, what the situation was. Again, we can just speculate, and we can all have our own theories. Only the lions will really know. So maybe she's looking for help. Remember, the pride, we're so lucky to see lions because they are the most social cats. And I have seen it before where a lioness has gone off. The same thing happened with the southern pride. One of the younger southern pride females had cubs, and actually one of the other lionesses spent the entire period that she gave birth to those cubs right through till she introduced them to the pride. They stuck together, which was really amazing. It's almost as if it was a nurse helping her through the whole process. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure. Let me just make sure, because I'm just going very slowly. I don't want anyone to get stuck behind me. It was actually quite a sad process because this female that had then joined the younger inexperienced lioness had mange, and she passed the mange on to the mother. Luckily the cubs were fine and they survived. Remember I was telling you stories about the sarcoptic mange, how we thought we were going to lose one of the lionesses. It was actually that one down from the southern pride, but she did a full turnaround. It was really quite amazing. So I wonder if this is not the case. Maybe the rest of the pride, because they're really young to have been introduced straight away. I think it's quite amazing, unless those cubs are older than we think. But we've been seeing that lioness around and we haven't really noticed any prominent suckle marks. So I don't think that they're very old, and just from the pictures they look absolutely tiny. So it's just a very interesting thing. I don't know if they've just gone in there to reassure her. Like I said, the male's gone in. She might be a bit protective over the youngsters, and if the male approaches, she might growl, that type of thing. I don't think Mfumo is going to hurt the little ones. If it's any of the males, Mfumo and Tino have been seen quite often mating with a few of the lionesses. Remember, over the past couple of weeks and months, there's been always a mating pair, and it's either been Tino and Mfumo in Buffelshoek on Arathuz or Simambili, occasionally here on Djuma, actually mainly in Buffelshoek, mating with them. So I'm sure they all know that they're the father. Not too many other big male lions that come roaming through here. So he might just have to hang back because he'll be quite rough. Unfortunately, the male lions aren't necessarily the most gentle. Although sometimes the females, they can also be not so tolerant of cubs, especially if they're not theirs. But it'll just be an interesting process to watch, won't it? But I'm going to send you back across to Brent. He's got not one cat, but 5.
I think we had a bit of comms breakup. Kirsten, if you can hear me, someone needs to turn on the Kick-Rock radio repeater for this area for us to have comms. I know I'm live, thank you, Kirsten, but someone needs to turn on the Kick-Rock radio repeater, and I will change to... There we go, all the fun. So we've got different repeaters all over the Mara to make things work. No, the Kick-Rock radio repeater is not on, because I cannot wake it up. Okay. So we're still with the boys. They are heading down into a little bit of a valley where we could have some issues with gremlins, but once we through it, it should be grand. And there are some wildebeest up ahead, but probably about 2 or 3 kilometers. So we're at 1, 2, 3, we are all 5. And it is that wonderful time of the day where we have the Mara to ourselves. Isn't that so special? Beautiful evening out here.
Oh dear, so it sounds like there are a few gremlins with us, and they seem to be interfering with the signal, but not to worry. Don't worry, I'm back, so you're with me, and you will hopefully see an owl soon. Come on, Sebastian, you need to help me spot an owl, so... But you know what, I find it's actually a lot easier without the spotlight, just to have a look for a silhouette. Yeah, the spotlight is not dark enough just yet, so we'll see if we can find a silhouette of an owl. Oh, that's a hornbill. Not very owl-like. As I was saying, it's actually chilly here at the moment. That cold front swept through South Africa towards the end of last week, middle of last week. And I think it's at one of those Bateleur, perhaps. Let's have a look. See if we can get it. There's a big eagle sitting at the top there. It is indeed one of the Bateleur eagles. Possibly, I say one of, because we're in the area that we saw 3 of them earlier today. So I would assume that might just be one of them. I think so. Lovely silhouette of the Bateleur. You can see those long feathers hanging below the tail. It's got a very short tail, but the wing feathers extend beyond the tail, and you can see them dangling below it there. Oh wow, hang on. Jamie's got some lions up in the Mara, and it's apparently they are calling at the moment.
Well, we caught the last call. The last little roof. So we have found a male lion. Unfortunately, he is really quite far away, but that's okay. We're very excited to have found a lion after having driven, I think, probably around about 100 kilometers already. I think we've done quite well there. Let's just listen to see if he gets a response. This is shades of the TV show on Saturday morning, where every single decision I made was the wrong one. Oh! Ouch! You got a scratched up eye, boy. That looks quite sore. I think he's got a scratched up eye. I can't hear a response, and I don't think he can either. So during last week's TV show, VM and I searched desperately in the rain. It's a very long story, but we searched desperately for any kind of lion, any kind of anything actually. We didn't manage until right before, probably about 10 minutes before the start of the TV show, and there was a male lion here, which unfortunately is one of the places where we can't off-road. And I decided to stay with him instead of looking for the Agamas. The end result of that was he disappeared, and at the end of the TV show, when I was driving home, found the Agamas on a fresh wildebeest kill. So I was quite devastated. Not quite, but I just was kicking myself. Nobody responding to you, boy. Or perhaps they are and I can't hear. His hearing, of course, is far more sensitive than ours. He's aware of every nuance and every sound. Apparently there was a female with him, but I can't see any sign of her. One more roar, come on, because we missed the first one. And I know that's not your fault, but it'd be very kind of you to roar again. Sometimes when they roar like this, I kind of picture it as... I don't quite know how to describe what I'm going to say. I kind of picture the whole Masai Mara, this great vast open space, and all these little dots of light that are the lions, connected by the roars that they create, calling to each other, connecting to each other across kilometers of space, knowing where each individual, or at least every neighbor, is situated. You've been in a scrap, boy. Let's see you. This direction, because this is the direction you want to walk in, I promise. I keep staring at that yellow object near his bottom, and I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is. It looks artificial. It looks human. Possibly, despite best efforts, perhaps somebody threw a bottle of something out, which is always upsetting to see. I'm not going to go and pick it up now, though. He looks quite ferocious with that scar. I don't know what that is. Oh, another big yawn. Often the prelude to some kind of movement, whether it's roaring, or whether it's time to get up and scent mark. Very atmospheric evening. Oof, that is beyond the reach of our infrared, isn't it, Liam? Far beyond.
Oh, they stole my thermal cam.
I know. I'm sorry, Liam. David this afternoon or this evening has got Liam's, as he claims it, Liam's thermal camera. Oh, Jackal. Oh, you're very brave. That looked ridiculously close. I don't think it is as close. I think it's deceptive. But that looked ridiculously close. Some kind of buddy comedy. No, I think that the camera... Maybe it was going to find out what the yellow box was. The depth of somehow,
Compresses the image.
Thank you, Liam. Compresses the image. So I don't think it was as close as it looked, but oh, number 2. Goodness, a reunion, carnival reunion. I've seen the Agamas nearly catch a black-backed jackal once before. Looking at them, but he's not going to jump up and race off. And he does have a nasty scratch over his eye, but I don't think it's anything too serious. I mean, most of you, I think, of our regular viewers, most of you have been through the trials and of the various injured animals that we've seen over the course of the months and years. Mfumo's face is the one that comes to mind immediately. I'm going to take a chance and stick with this male lion, and it sounds like Tayla's been lucky. Let's go across to her and Mvula himself.
Hi guys. Bye guys. Thank you. Shot. Hello everybody. Right. Mvula. Hello big man. So we got a tip earlier that Mvula was actually on his way this side. Now he is on our property, which is quite cool. And hopefully he keeps coming this way. I don't know why all these cars are on our property. That's unusual. I'll just go past them. So there he is. We haven't seen him for a while. We'll try and get a view. I don't know what he's doing. You know what this old fella is like. He goes from left to right to left to right to left to right. It's the normal thing. We had a really cool sighting of him once after it was raining, remember? And he came across the road very quickly, looked like he was stalking something, and then ran back across the road. So he might do that, but you can see he's slightly annoyed with all the cars that are around here. So we're going to give him room, as much room as possible. We don't obviously want to pressure him too much, even though an old man like himself is quite used to all the cars and things like that. It can be a bit bewildering when you've got 40 of them around you. So we'll give him room. We don't want to encourage which way he's going to go. If he wants to go back across into Arathusa and back towards Simambili, that's fine. It must be his decision. So we're just parked quite far back. Obviously you can see we're not spotting him. We've got nice backlighting from all the other guides, which is pretty cool. My goodness. I apologize for this. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you have sightings on a boundary. And like I said, give him room. Little birdie, where did you come from? He's just walking down this strip. So Rexon was actually hard at work today. He was sort of came with a tractor, and he came and he completely sort of mowed this area. So it's basically a fire break. Looks like he's using the luxury facilities, and we better take note because you don't want to drive over that. That's never fun. But he's looking good, don't you think? And I love this cat because of the fact that sometimes when he doesn't have a meal, it looks like, oh my goodness, Mvula, it looks like your time is coming to an end. And all he does is he has one good meal, and he looks like he should be the dominant male again. He's a lovely, lovely, lovely cat. Let's see what he's going to do, though. You're going to go back across again. We'll just be very patient and see what he does. Like I said, we'll give him room. We'll let him decide where he wants to go to. He's looking back this way. I wonder if he didn't... There's not much of a breeze anymore. It's completely died down. But I wonder if he didn't perhaps get the scent of those lions. Because he crossed the road and he said it was going towards the drainage line where all those lions were. And then he very quickly went west. And you see how he keeps looking behind him as well? Maybe he knows. And he's an old cat. He's very experienced in terms of the bush, and he knows lions are not one to mess with because they can also climb trees. Not as well as a leopard can, of course. There we go. He's made a turn. Yes. Right, but let's just make sure we don't drive in the dung. He's crossed onto our side now, so this is pretty cool. Yay! Yeah, I'm so excited because I said I'm never looking for another leopard again in terms of tracking. Oh no, now we've got to try and follow him through this thick stuff. Well, that could be exciting. Okay, off 4x4 we go. Okay, luckily he's walking on a bit of an animal pathway, so that's alright for us. I do want to let Andrew, I did tell Andrew and Aubrey because they actually gave me the update. And they said he was coming this way, so I just want to make sure that they see where I'm going. I think that's them there. There we go. So now he's moving well away from the road. Nobody else can come in here other than the other guides that can traverse on Djuma. But it's going to be a tricky one trying to follow him in here. Sensor, can I ask a favor? Can we turn the presenter light just down a little bit? Whew. So we're going to keep trying to follow him, and then I can see Andrew, so I'm going to have a chat to him. We're going to send you across to Byron, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Well, that's exciting that Tayla managed to get that male leopard. Sounds like Mvula. That's wonderful. We're just scanning the trees, and I'm trying to see if maybe we have any luck with some nocturnal animals tonight. Maybe a genet, or who knows, maybe even a civet. I actually did see a civet in the Timavati. That was one highlight over there. We got to see a civet. Don't see them that often. That was really nice. I'm still scanning for owls though. Can't seem to find any tonight. I haven't heard any. Oh, a scrub hare. Oh, there it goes. It just disappeared off into this little area around here. There he is. There he is. It's actually good to stop like this. Maybe we hear an owl close by. I can hear a Scops owl in the distance. Can't hear anything else just yet. Oh, nice to see. Sorry, Seb. Nice to see that. Is it alright? Do you want to try? There we go. There he goes. Nice and peaceful. Scops owls calling it, or a Scops owl calling in the distance. One of my favourite sounds. I really, really enjoy the Scops owl. Managed to see quite a few 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Alright, now it sounds like the ladies have all the cats this afternoon. Well, I suppose, and Brent, but Jamie has got a lioness she wants to show you now.
Don't worry, Byron, you can dream of cats tonight. Oh, let's be quiet for a sec. Beautiful. Thank you, girl. She's listening to the male call behind us and waiting for the rest of her pride, I think, to call in response. She does look massive. She's really large. Our Agama, mother of the youngest cubs, and I think that's why she's separate from the rest of the group, I think. I mean, just taking her at first glance. And I suspect that's why she's separate from the rest of the pride. The rest of the cubs, and for our new viewers, the cubs, let's try that again. The cubs, the lions, the Agama pride has 4 lionesses and 13 cubs, and the youngest ones are still quite tiny. And I think the rest of the cubs are definitely all old enough to spend time with the females, but she has to come back to these. Right, I'm going to try and remember how to speak. Let's go back to Mvula and Tayla, who I'm sure will do a better job.
How amazing is this? We are so lucky. So, some more interesting developments. Apparently Tingana has also crossed onto the property. I didn't quite hear exactly what happened. Andrew very quickly just mentioned to me, he said apparently Tingana's come on. So I don't know if they're tracking one another. I don't know what's actually going on at the moment. Obviously there's so much that we don't understand with these animals. I'm going to stop here because we're going to get some interesting lighting from the other cars, which is very cool. Look at that. That is so beautiful. I'm all for a backlit cat. And there's lots of photographic guests around at the moment, which is really nice. And this is one of the most beautiful cats in the Sabi Sand. I think he was, well, the original blue-eyed boy, wasn't he? Tumba's definitely got lovely blue eyes. There he goes, just stopping for a moment in between the guarri trees. And he's got a full belly. So he's obviously been on a kill. Like I said, he is looking outstanding. Let me jump up in front again, Senzo. Maybe we'll get him walking towards us. I love this cat. Every single time I see him, I love him more and more. And I would have loved to have seen him when he was in his prime. Oh, spotted thickening, you better stand still. Just because, you know, a few years ago, wow, the cat that he would have been. Not that he's nothing sort of to be reckoned with now. I don't know if he's maybe looking for, if he wants to catch something, if he's hunting, or if he's indeed tracking. I don't know if he'd want to go and pick a fight with Tingana though. But he's stopping, he's listening. He also seems to be slightly nervous, don't you think? Or have you heard something? Let's see what happens here. Ears pricked forward. His attention is focused. It could be a meal. It's really hard to say though. Well, there's no point us putting our infrared on now, just because there's going to be lots and lots of spotlights on him. I said there's photographic guests, so we might as well utilize it as well and put a bit of color. We'll even help the guys out when he walks to them. We'll try and backlight him for the photographic guests, seeing as though they've been doing such a kind job for us. Cool as that. Watch out, Mvula, you're about to fall into a mud wallow, well, a little hole of some sort. What a stunning cat. I'm going to just dim mine now, just because there's a light on him. We don't want to put too many lights on him at once. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So, too many cats today. It's fantastic. Jamie has got a lioness doing a bit of a call.
Just caught the end of it there. Kirsty did an amazing job. But the delay between us and Djuma is slightly longer. That's okay. She'll roar again for us. What was making that sound? Where are your cubbles? They're your little ones, Mum. Oh, did that not taste very nice? That expression on her face. Oh, my feet smell. She's beautiful. How's that? Lion, Mvula, and those cheetah, all in one afternoon. And of course, we're sitting now, I can't see her anymore with my own eyes. The infrared does an amazing job of allowing us to view them at night. Now I'm going to stick with her tonight, I think. I'm sure she will head off and reunite with the rest of the females. She's ignoring the males roaring completely, and the males are actually getting further and further away from us. How are those teeth? And of course, a lion roaring never gets old. It is the most extraordinary sound. A lot of people are saying it never ceases to amaze you, and that you all just love that sound. I do too. And sitting with her and feeling it vibrate through your chest is a special experience. And what's interesting about her roar is, and Viam and I both came to this independent conclusion, her tailing end roars, I've forgotten what they're called, the oof, oof, oof sound at the end. They go on for a really long time, longer than I've heard other lionesses do that for. I wonder if that's a Mara thing or just unique to this lioness, or unique to the situation. We'll have to compare and contrast. Okay, sleepy lioness, let's go. Let's let you rest and send all of you guys back across to Mvula.
We're still with the most incredible leopard. You know what? I really like this boy. I'm ready to say that he could be my favorite big male leopard. I like Tingana, he's really cool, but I just like the whole story behind Mvula, how he once was the reigning sort of king. Oh, sorry, you're welcome to turn the light back up now. It was just when I was doing that hectic off-roading that I was completely blinded, and then I was trying to look forward and I couldn't see what was going on. And because my lights are so much brighter than everyone else's as well, I'm too scared to put them on. And so I'm trying to drive with my spotlight and also put my mic pack in my pocket again because it fell out. So we'll just try and get another position. Ken, I'm not going to blind anyone. So I'll just zoom through here quickly. We know how... Well, I was going to say Wendy's not really nimble. That's a strong word to use. Oh, we're on a road. Oh, hallelujah. How cool is that? That's pretty amazing. Now, Francis, all the way from Israel, wondering if Tingana would fight him. Oh, most certainly. But Mvula has got some tricks up his sleeve. He isn't really marking. Like, we don't see him scent marking and spraying up against trees anymore. So I like to refer to him as being in retirement. So he doesn't really have a territory anymore. He just sort of moves in between the other leopards, and other leopards being really Tingana. And when Tingana picks up on him, and if he's made a kill, he's quite happy to drop it and let Tingana have it without a fight, and then he'll go off and he'll catch something else. It's almost like he baits him, and then he gets a couple of days of freedom. That's beautiful. But he is very careful. He'll be vigilant. But let's go back across to Jamie in the Mara with the calling cats.
Don't do it, girl. Oh, don't do that. You gave me such false hope. Kirsty's going to beat me when I get back to camp. I made Kirsty ask for a link again. I didn't make Kirsty ask. I just told Kirsty that the lioness was roaring. Twisted her arm from afar. Oh, no. Oh, girl. Come on, you gotta help me out here. She was calling, I promise. She was contact calling. I have faith too. She's listening now. Can literally hear the crickets chirping. Oh, girl, break my heart. To make up for tearing everyone away from Mvula? Wonderful. Thank you, girl. When you're finished, we're going to send you across to Brent and his cheetah.
Okay. Okay, look at this. I don't know if we're live. I can't hear Kirsten properly. They have taken down a sub-adult zebra. Just now, as Dave was trying to put the IR lights on, they disappeared, but they've just come into signal area. Now, this is incredible. Now, this is what having a coalition of 5 boys. And you can hear the distress of all the zebras around. This is amazing. Now, a single cheetah wouldn't even venture at a zebra this size. Now, please be warned, the zebra is still alive, so they will start feeding on it. So if you are sensitive, it might be a good time to go grab a cup of coffee. Now, this is coming to you live from Kenya. The Musketeer Cheetah Coalition have taken down an sub-adult zebra. Now, that zebra doesn't look to be in the best condition. Maybe that's another reason why they did it. Now, of course, oh, I think the hyenas are already on their way. Can hear some hissing. No, it's the zebras coming back in. Let me get to the other side. Now, I have seen zebras do this to wild dogs before. When wild dogs have grabbed a young one, they have charged back in to try chase off. Now, you'll notice you won't see me now. We've switched to the low light camera. So the low light camera, it has got a big lens on it, so you won't be able to see me, but it does give us incredible light. Now, you can hear the zebras around. I thought that the cheetah were hissing at a hyena, but it wasn't. They were hissing at probably what's the mother charging in. Oh, it looks like D'Artagnan's actually on the stranglehold. Is it D'Artagnan with the collar? Oh, no, it's not. How many cheetah we got here? 1, 2. No, all 5 are there. Oh, it is incredible, the light we're getting off this low light camera. There we go. Well, no, not quite. Not quite done yet. Poor little zebra. As I said, it doesn't look like it's in the best condition. And this is a big meal for these 5 boys. That is the circle of life out here on the African plains. Tico's wondering, how long will a kill of this size provide food for the brothers? Not as long as you would think. Now, the biggest problem for them here is possibly other predators, lions or hyenas, would have heard all this disturbance, the alarm calls from the mother zebra, and all the stampeding of hooves, and it might bring them in. Hyenas specifically. So, but if they had time and no other outside threats, and they managed to eat this whole carcass, it should last them through till tomorrow. And you can see how nervous they are, looking around constantly. Bobby's wondering, why do they have such a hard time tearing into the hide? Well, they don't have nearly as well developed teeth as lions and leopards and hyenas, so it takes them a little bit longer to cut through. I'm just going to check with my spotlight quickly, see if there's any hyenas in there. So far so good for the cheetah boys. Not a sign of a hyena around us, just shouting at each other. Now, cheetah will often start at the rump. The rump is the best spot to start feeding from. Now, you can see there's about 4 of them at the rump and only 1 up ahead. Now, the reason for that is there's a lot of meat there, very little bone, and they are able to wolf down as much as possible before other potential predators come in and steal their kill. Remember, we are using a special low light camera that is being able to bring this to us, and that's why you won't be seeing me. I got the lens that doesn't go that wide. Now you can see they're very, very alert, and it sounds like some of you guys are getting some great screenshots of the boys. Now this is sort of the perfect time for cheetah to hunt, because at just that hour after sunset, where their eyes are just that little bit better than everyone else's, and they are able to take advantage of the fading light that doesn't work in the prey's eyes. Okay, well, it's while these cheetah boys are still stationary, we're going to go across to Jamie and her lioness.
And of course our lioness, I'm sure, thinking of taking advantage of the fading light as well. As she glances off into the distance, we're going to do our utmost to stick with her, and across the way towards the other side of the road we can off-road, and this side we can't off-road. That was very slick for him. Very, very cool. We're going to move across. If she goes that way, then we'll be able to follow her, and we'll be able to see how the Agama's evening plays out, because I'm sure she's going to be planning on catching up with the rest of the ladies. She's certainly been vocal about it. Okay, quick. Who's a woman with a loud voice? Oh, this could get dangerous. Never mind. I was trying to think of an actress too. Tina Turner. Kirsty says Aretha Franklin. I've forgotten how to speak. VM says Tina Turner. I feel like I'm going to take myself down the road of insulting somebody somewhere. But she's magnificent. It's not an insult. Meryl Streep? I don't know. I give up. I'm not very good at this game at all. There you go. If this lioness were to be voiced, she'd be voiced by Meryl Streep. I'm not sure how she feels about that. The lioness, that is, not Meryl. I'm sure Meryl would be flattered. It's such a beautiful evening. Oh, Vim, it's the first night in a while where we haven't been rained on at this point. We haven't been desperately pulling down the rain covers and making ourselves our little tent. It's such fantastic fun because you end up with the blue tarpaulin wrapped in front of us, and we use, oh, I don't have any of them handy. We use jars of nuts and coffee and sugar to prop the roof up, because if we don't, it pools. Yeah, we use our little jars of nuts that we take as snacks. We use it to prop the roof up so that it doesn't drip on us. And my shoes occasionally. It's all worked out really well though. The lioness of course doesn't have the option of ducking into the cover. But I think the rain will hold off for tonight. Raisa, I think you got a better one than I did. I think Whoopi Goldberg works quite well, I feel. This is the sort of thing that you end up thinking about at around about, I think the longest hours, depending on what's happening, the longest hours are usually around about between 11 and 1 for me. I'm just checking to see what she's looking at, see if there's another lioness. But alas, there is not. Okay, we're going to sit with our lion. Hopefully we'll see you later on our Facebook Lives. Let's go back to Brent and his spectacular cheetah for the last few minutes.
Well, they're still munching in. D'Artagnan has already eaten so much he's lying off to the right. And you can still see we've now switched into infrared. The sun got a little, or the sun dipped a bit, and our ambient light became not enough for the low light camera. But so we've got infrared with it. Now I want to see, I heard, and I had a quick sweep around with my spotlight, that there's hyenas in front of us. But they haven't found the cheetah yet. Now the cheetah have made quite a bit of noise. Let's see if we can spot the hyenas. Wait, look, right, they're coming in. Look at that. I think we're going to have to possibly extend a bit here, Kirsten. Keeping the hyenas off. You can still see they're still hungry and they're prepared to take on the cheetah. And that's the fact that there are 5 of them. I think if it had been a single... Oh, look at that. Isn't that incredible? Get away from my zebra, you thieving hyena, you. So we've only got 2 hyenas. I thought I heard one just in front of us. But now let's see what happens. Are they going to recall for reinforcements? Now there's 3 hyenas. I don't know 2. That was the cheetah. Sorry, I got too excited there. Remember, this is live from Kenya. The rest of the cheetah trying to get as much of that zebra as possible. So this ties in to see that even though the cheetah are quite adept killers, they often lose their kills to other predators. Okay, so guys, we are going to leave you. If you want to keep with us, we are going to carry on this sighting on Facebook Live. If you want to stay with us,